guest today is David Edson from visibility.biz. How you doing, sir?
Great, good to see you, Dave.
And you do a lot of work customizing Microsoft Visio, right?
That's correct. We've been doing it for quite a few years. I actually started with Visio Corporation when it began and stayed with it through the acquisition by Microsoft. And after about 2 years with Microsoft, went out and founded a consultancy with my partner Daniel Rower, and the two of us have been doing customization and training, education, all aspects around Visio.
Oh, wow. I remember, I was telling you earlier, I remember buying a copy of Visio. I got a free copy of Micro Center that they had at the cash register, picked it up, brought it home, somebody else saw it and wanted a flow chart, and bought it. I don't know if it was version 1.0, but it was a very early version back around mid-90s.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Visio has always been an elegant platform for being able to visualize information. But as we got into about the Visio 3 and Visio 4 timeframe, we then began to be able to attach to external data sources.
Okay.
And now what Visio is really about is being able to aggregate, pull together, and visualize lots of disparate forms of data that are usually in tabular form or in Word type of documents, and understand that data in a highly visual manner. The old saying, a picture being worth 1,000 words, is absolutely true. It makes it very easy to understand and convey that information to others.
Okay, so you're talking about taking data out of some data source. You said a Word document, SQL Server, or Oracle data as well.
Absolutely, any ODBC compliant data source.
And then using Visio as a reporting engine, something to see the data, not so much as numbers, but as graphically represented.
Absolutely, and not only as a reporting engine, but also as a design surface so that you can drag and drop and design a workflow, design a process flow, and then report on it not only visually, but if you need to push things back to other applications such as databases or spreadsheets. So it acts as a visual intermediary as well as a visual reporting tool.
Okay, and do you see a lot of that where people are actually building front-end user interfaces using Visio as opposed to using a web page or a custom Windows client?
Recently, yes, we are. Originally, people would definitely use web-based tools, but because Visio can actually save itself in an HTML-based format and not only have the graphics, but also the data behind the graphics on the unified web page using any version of Internet Explorer, 5.0 or later at least, it's a wonderful surface for being able to do that design and implementation. You see it a lot right now in workflow, lean transformation. Everyone's stuck with Sarbanes-Oxley type of compliance now, and so it's being used in that area as well.
What was a really cool application that you've seen built on top of Visio?
We had a customer who was spending quite literally more than 40 hours per month trying to aggregate data for status reports of different types of projects. And what they were doing was building these reports in PowerPoint.
Okay.
And every single manager was using the template of choice, and there was no unified look and feel, no consistency to where the data was located. And to aggregate and then present that data to the executives was just incredibly painful.
Sure, aggregating among disparate formats is a huge chore.
Just a nightmare.
I don't want to say impossible, but nearly impossible.
Nearly. So what we were able to do is take that data that was sitting in project server files as well as Oracle databases, etc., pull that together into a unified Visio scorecard using heat map type of methodologies.
What, and those, back up, heat map types of methodologies?
Heat maps are where you generally have the green, yellow, red indicators showing status and the health of action items. Pull that together in a unified Visio template that is updated automatically from that data, so you're always looking at up-to-the-minute status. Publish that out to a PowerPoint slide, since we know PowerPoint tends to be that tool of choice for presentation,
Right.
and push that out to a SharePoint site as a repository. Then at the end of the month, come through and build the high-level view of all the projects, again in a heat map format, push that out, pull all of those PowerPoint slides together from the SharePoint repository, build the PowerPoint presentation deck, and push it back. So we took them from 40 hours a month to 16 seconds per month for exactly the same task. So the ROI is absolutely wonderful using Visio.
That's really nice. And then you've used the database itself for doing the aggregation, because that's what databases are good at. And you use the front end in this case Visio, to create PowerPoint slides, because that's what PowerPoint is good at, is presenting the data, and Visio is good at visualizing the data.
Exactly. Pulling it together in a unified manner that's consistent, that everyone can understand, and using all the rest of the Microsoft tools for their best and highest use. And I think that's always the thing that's most important, is use the right tool for the right job.
Okay, and you're traveling around the country. I know you do a lot of consulting, but right now you're traveling around doing a lot of training.
Right. Microsoft is very interested in being able to get existing partners and new partners who have lots of different solutions that tend to be tabular based, and show them that they can add a visualization component on top of that. Not asking them to rework their business, but add a new component in that's really going to help them out understanding that data. So they're sending me around training different companies to learn how to do that and set the certification examination, which is, I think, a skill set that everybody in an organization that deals with data should kind of dive into.
Okay. And what kind of response are you getting back from when you go out and talk to companies and you show them this data? What are people getting it? Are they seeing the applications, or is it something they're getting from you?
That's a really interesting question, because most people who, if you say Visio, they think, oh, that's a great thing for doing org charts and simple flow charts in a subject. Mm-hmm. So initially, they don't get it. But the minute you can show them a few examples of how this data visualization works, all of a sudden they light up and they're really very, very interested in it.
Okay. And so that's part of, you're not just teaching the technology, you're trying to evangelize the capabilities of Visio beyond what people think of it as.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Dave, I really appreciate you talking to us.
Hey, it's a
pleasure. Thank you very much, and thanks for the training.
Thank you much.